First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kudash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Psalms, the 13th chapter. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. How long wilt thou forget me, O Yahweh, forever? How long wilt thou hide thy face from me? And here David is in this psalm, as you can see, it says a prayer for help in trouble. So he's eagerly calling out to the Lord, seeking help from the Lord, crying to the Lord like, Lord, how long? I'm in the midst of trouble and I need your help. And it feels like you can't come soon enough. How long shall I take counsel in my soul, having sorrow in my heart daily? Okay, and that counsel in his soul is like, when you're in a hard time or a tough position, and your brain is turning over and over and over again, trying to think of how you're going to get out of this, and this is just causing stress and distress. As he says, having sorrow in my heart daily, right? That is through the stress and the despair, in which he brought forth this prayer. How long shall mine enemy be exalted over me? Now remember, there were many times, right, where David was, in positions of difficulty. And most of the time it was through an adversary that was against him, right? Whether it was Saul or, the Philistines or even Absalom or, whatever case that he found himself in. So he says, how long, Lord, are you going to have the enemy, be exalted over me? Because it seems like they have the upper hand. Verse 3, consider and hear me, O Yahweh, my God. Lighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. And lightening my eyes is just a figure of speech for like restore. It's like asking the Lord to restore the spark that's in your eyes. When you're joyous or happy or excited, it's likened on to having a spark in your eyes. And that's what David is asking for here through the deliverance of the Lord. Lest I sleep the sleep of death, right? Lest I'm overcome, both with grief and of my enemies. Verse 4, let mine enemies say, lest my enemies say, I have prevailed against him. And those that trouble me rejoice when I am moved. That moved is to basically to fall. So he's saying, Lord, I need you to step in, swiftly, lest those that are against me have the upper hand and prevail against me and rejoice in the fact that I am, at their mercy. But I have trusted in thy mercy. My heart shall rejoice in thy salvation. So he's saying, even though I'm in trouble, I know that as you've done before, you'll do again. And as your judgment is great, so is your mercy. So as he's saying, I've trusted in your mercy regardless, and my heart is going to rejoice in your salvation. I will sing unto the Lord Yahweh, because he hath dealt bountifully with me. And let's go into that word bountifully. To deal fully with, to recompense, right? To deal out to deal bountifully with, to recompense, to repay. So in this case, the Lord heard David, and delivered him, right? Recompensed him, but in a righteous sense, by answering his prayer for help. And that brings us to the end of the book of Psalms, the 13th chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Recha Kodash. Until next time, Shalom.